What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jam Movies, and today we're here with the final Venom, Venom: The Last Dance. So the budget was 120 million, and I don't know if did it do well domestically. It was like 140, so they kind of made it a little bit over their budget, but the final was the big one, I think, globally. What did it do?
478 million. So
these movies make money.
Yeah,
they always have.
For 120 million, I can understand because of the actors they had, CGI and whatnot, where they did all the filming and the locations and whatnot. But I do say, like, I thought they spent it well, especially for a genre. Genre I don't really am fond to, but I thought the comedy side of it, the villain side of it, and spoiler alerts, how Venom became a little bit more what's a word, thoughtful, and like at the end, like essentially was telling
more caring.
Yeah, he wanted him to have a family or like kids or whatever. But what do you think on how they spent the budget?
No, the budget was used well. It's great special effects. All these movies have great special effects, in my opinion, right? Obviously, they use a lot of CGI, and you have to with a movie like this, right? But no, very well made film, so can't complain about the budget. But let's get into directors and actors here.
The director is Kelly Marcel. She did all the Venom. She did Cruella. Also 50 Shades of Grey, so she's not, she's done great with all the Venom trilogies. I never watched Cruella. 50 Shades of Grey I don't really like, but what do you think about Cruella?
Well, 50 Shades of Grey was... I don't even want to talk about that. I watched it once years ago with somebody, and I laughed the entire way through. But, no, I've never seen Cruella, but the Venom trilogy, I enjoy them. I don't find... everybody always has a bad hate, they have a really bad hate for the Sony Marvel universe, right? Yes, they've made some stinkers, right? Like Morbius, I can put on and laugh. The special effects were atrocious, right? I still have yet to see Madam Web, but the Venom series is great, and they did a good job with it. Her direction, Tom Hardy, the whole 9 yards, everything worked out very well for the entire trilogy. It's definitely a movie that I can put on, from Venom 1 all the way to 3 now. This one is, in my opinion, is one of the better ones of the series. I liked how it was, fast paced, start to finish. It was just from point A to point B to point C. Acting and directing were great. Tom Hardy, I do want to get a little bit of Tom Hardy before I pass it to you. He's an absolute joy as Eddie Brock and Venom. It's almost like they have a chemistry with each other, but it's not really, what I mean, which is cool to see. I can't picture now Eddie Brock being without Venom. They're just they're one, what I mean. But how did you feel about the director and the actor?
I thought that Kelly Marcel did amazing with the Venom trilogy. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Marvel movie like any superhero movie really, but I thought it was done really well by her. She also read it with Tom Hardy, so you brought in Tom Hardy, so let's get into the actors as well. Tom Hardy did an amazing job, and like you said, I can't see Venom without Tom Hardy or Tom Hardy without Venom in like the Venom series now. I can't even say the guy's name, Chiwetel thing. He was Strickland. He made movies like Doctor Strange, so he's also not like he's familiarized with like the superhero movies. So I thought he did great as the sergeant or lieutenant in the movie. Dr. Ted Penny, she did Fargo,
You can't pronounce it, that's alright.
And also Dark Knight Rising and Sin City. A lot of these actors have done really good movies, and goes to show you why the budget was expensive as well. But nonetheless, they did an amazing job, and that's why they were paid. They get paid what they do. They have amazing acting skills and whatnot. So let's bring up the opening scene where you start seeing the monster. What would you say that brought you? What were your thoughts when you seen that monster?
It was cool because I did a little back research with the Null character and everything that's going on in this movie, and I thought they brought it all together. I thought that the villain itself, like the villains that we see, those monster creatures, it's a bit like generic, but at the same time it was cool. I thought we were gonna get a little bit more of Null, which is fine. I also actually we'll get back into that after I have a little theory going on with what's going to happen with this in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But no, the opening scene was great. How did you feel?
I liked it a lot. I liked how they brought in the character. If you didn't do any backstory, you don't know. You're like, what is this enemy? Like, what is he coming here to do? Blah 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 blah. So I thought it was great how they brought it in. So I have nothing really too extravagant to say about it, but I do say I was curious, and it brought me more into the movie and what's bound to happen with this enemy and Venom.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then with the ending, we'll bring up now. I thought it was satisfying. Mm-hmm. It's called the Last Dance, right? So we knew something was going to end here. And we got exactly what I guess we were anticipating on happening. But it was a good send-off. They kind of said their goodbyes. And is it possible Venom could come back for Eddie? Yeah, sure it is, right? Mm-hmm. There's that little drop of the symbiote left over at the end of the movie. So maybe that's a sign, or maybe it's going to be some other form of Venom. Mm-hmm. We don't know, but all in all, to end the series off, I was disappointed that the boys are leaving, but it was satisfying. How did you feel?
I have to agree with that too. It was upsetting nonetheless, especially because, like you said, they're not the same without each other.
Yeah.
But it was a good end off to this series, and leaves you, like you said, there's that rest of the symbiote. So is that going to be Venom, or is it going to be a different symbiote or whatnot? So it kind of leaves you curious about that little thing. But going into that, I have no theories, but you said you had a theory, so let's talk about the theory.
So I think what's going to happen, I think the reason why they left over that little bit of the symbiote at the end there is I think this is like almost their way of getting Venom into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Maybe now we're finally get that maybe that partnership between Spider-Man and Venom to take on Null. Or maybe we're going to get a little bit of Spider-Man versus Venom action. Mm-hmm. But I think that was the idea, because I know I heard in a couple interviews that Tom Holland and Tom Hardy both said they would like to work together. Mm-hmm. And even they had asked Tom Hardy which Spider-Man he would prefer to work with, and he said Tom Holland all the way.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're going to get something like that. I would love to see it, because I like the way that they made Venom. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, we got a Venom in Spider-Man 3. They made a lot of mistakes, but I know that was a lot of studio interference with having too many villains in the movie. But that's my theory. I think that, this is the last dance for the Sony Marvel Universe transitioning into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Mm-hmm. But only time will tell. I know Marvel's got a lot going on right now. So with that being said, what would you give it on the Jammeter?
70%. It's a good movie nonetheless, but I don't like this type of genre. But it's still a good movie. Will I own it? Yes, because I already have the other two. I need to get it to complete the collection. But I would say I would only watch it probably once a year. So that's why I have to rate it so low. It's not on my priority list. It's still a good movie. I'd still highly recommend you to watch it, especially if you haven't watched all three. Watch the third one. It's a good one, better than the other two, I have to say. And at least you kind of see how it ends off. But yeah, what do you have to rate on the Jammeter?
You know what? I'm gonna go with a 75.
75.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Again, too, it's not one of my favorite movies. It's not one of my favorite series. All three of them are enjoyable. How many times will I watch them? Probably a few, but not enough as some of my other films. But again, too, if you've seen the other ones, 1 and 2, you definitely have to watch this one. This completes it. It's definitely worth giving it a watch. And with that being said, guys, thanks for joining us on our discussion today of Venom: The Last Dance. And as always, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. And thanks for jamming out with us.